good evening, and welcome to the Island Stats Referee Show here on islandstats.com. I'm your host, Earl Baston. Joining me is CONCACAF instructor and assessor, Robert Sibica. I said that correct?
Yes, you did. Good evening.
Okay. Thank you very much. Welcome to Bermuda, sir. We're going to jump right into this because we find things very interesting when it comes to officiating and the like. You had your turn in officiating. Um, what turned your attention to officiating itself?
Okay, so it's funny story actually. Hi everyone. I'm very excited and happy to be here. Um, so I never thought I would be interested in officiating, and I started very late. I'm one of the odd cases. I just played the game, and at the age of 34, I got injured on a game. I got kicked in the knee, and I torn my ACL and meniscus. Referee never called a foul on a play, and I was never able to really fully go back to my shape because of that. And I figured, you know what? Why don't I just turn into refereeing and see if I can do a little bit better than the referee who decided that my injury was not even a foul.
Wow.
So at the very late of my career, at the age of 34, 35, I started refereeing. And because of my background, I was born in Poland and I played up until I was 20 in my country, and then I moved to the United States. So I knew the game. I knew the sport. I understood football. So even though I started refereeing at the older age, and because of my experience as a player and as someone who was a fan of the game, I was able to go up in the ranks very quickly. And within 4 5 years, I was already in United States. I was fourth official in the MLS, and after 5 years of officiating total, I had my first medal in MLS. I spent over a decade being a referee in Major League Soccer, including doing an All-Star game in 2018 against Juventus, and including being an MLS Referee of the Year 2021. Um, an injury happened to me at the end of my career, which enabled me to continue. I turned into being a referee coach, referee mentor. I started going to the tournaments, and now, 3 years after my injury, I am a national referee coach for US Soccer. I'm a FIFA and CONCACAF instructor. And I am very, very excited and happy to be here to share what I have learned so I can pass it along.
Well, let's talk about the fact that you're here. How does one like you help to benefit um, countries such as Bermuda, and when you have such a small pool of officials? I know our chairman of referees is working hard to make sure that we have enough officials to cover weekend games and weekday games and so forth. And he's got a pool of young people that you probably had a chance to work with this morning.
Yes, yes, I did. I was privileged to work with some of the younglings of this country. I was very happy about it. We had a group of referees aging from 14 all the way down to 8. There was a child of the age of 8 who wanted to take a look at it. Who wanted to try it. I think my role here is, first of all, to raise awareness and excitement about being an official. I think this is a role that is very underrated and people don't really look at it as something important. However, there is no game without the referees. And for most of the part, the referees know more about the loss of the game than the players, coaches, and especially parents.
Uh-huh.
Uh, what I've noticed in the last 3 years when I'm traveling all over the different countries is the fact that referees are not being protected enough against abuse and sometimes even assault.
Hmm.
So it hurts the most the youngest officials. They don't know how to deal with it. They don't know that there are tools available to them because veterans, the officials with more experience, allowed this to happen for too long, and they
Mhm.
are not dealing it properly.
Yeah.
So I think helping younger referees grow is going to be a successful thing only if we stop the abuse and neglect of unprofessional behavior towards football officials, especially young officials. And I think that's a big task to take. It's international problem, not just one country problem. But
Mhm.
if we if we create safe environment for young referees, and if they realize that they are protected and they are safe, I think more and more referees, more and more kids, younger players, young people are going to turn into being officials, and that's what I like to promote.
I mean, I'm a big supporter of what you just said. I'm one of those type of people that would encourage even a game stoppage if it's getting to a point where it's becoming unbearable at times. But we've seen over the years more senior referees allow that to um, just manifest. And people standing on the side that may put up their hand or would have put up their hand, just keep their hand down because they don't want to be subjected to that type of stuff. Now, in we hear, I just want to refer to the professional world where we there's a lot of racism and so forth in the stands towards players and so forth. How can referees address that? Because we always see it after the fact, like after the game, we're seeing, oh, this club was fined because of racist chants and so forth. But clearly, everybody on the field could hear it, including the officials. How could we address that part in ensuring that not only they don't eventually get targeted, which they probably are more than more than the players, but how can we address something like that?
Well, the problem lays with the fact that there is a certain allowance of complaining and dissenting towards the officials,
Mm-hmm.
and also certain leeway towards whatever the fans are chanting or saying.
Yes.
Uh, it's the biggest tool and the biggest power over that has associations and organizations and leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I always promote zero tolerance policy on that,
Yeah.
and all we need to do is we need to empower referees and tell them it is okay to deal with it and give them tools how to deal with it. So
Mm-hmm.
stop the game until it stops. Uh, if it continues, stop it again and talk to the coaches, talk to the players, and say, if this continues, we cannot finish this game.
Mm-hmm.
And there are referees who are willing to do that, but they need to make sure that they're going to be have a backing of their association and backing of the league. Uh,
Yes.
Too many times, especially in the United States, when I work a lot on an everyday basis, I do see courageous decision by the referee to abandon the game
Mm-hmm.
and to stop it. And yet, the same coach or same league or same team goes on and just plays next weekend. So
Right.
there is no consequences for these actions, and the courageous decisions by the referees are being ignored.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a joint effort. Referees can help with it, but they need to have a backing of the organization of the league to make sure that this situation is being addressed.
Fair enough. Thank you very much for that. Now, looking at getting officials from the smaller countries on the FIFA list and so forth. How do you assist and how could you assist helping move that forward for a country like Bermuda?
So I've started working for CONCACAF this year, so it's been almost a year. It's been 10 months, and I've worked thoroughly with a lot of referees from smaller countries. I've met Amari.
Mhm.
And I'm a big fan of him as a human being and as a person. I am a personal ref coach for a FIFA official from Trinidad and Tobago. I'm also a coach for FIFA referee from the Dominican Republic. I was assigned those two officials by CONCACAF to be their go-to ref coach and mentor. I have a huge respect towards officials who reach FIFA level, international level from these smaller countries. Before I entered the program with CONCACAF, I thought that there are certain leagues or certain countries that are better than others. It is too simple to say that.
Hmm.
They are exposed to a different level of games and different level of professionalism. So, for example, my backyard high school field is better quality field than some of the professional games that I've watched in Dominican Republic or Trinidad and Tobago. So, and the support that those referees in United States and Canada get is way more because there is a investment into them. So, in a way, it's easier to become a FIFA referee in Canada, FIFA
Hmm.
referee in United States, because you have resources around you, including mentoring and helping, that smaller countries just do not have. Not because of lack of effort, it's because of just lack of that level instruction, that level of mentorship or coaching. So smaller countries have a difficult time break through, uh, not because of lack of talent, not because of the fact that they don't try hard, but just because the instruction part, the close coaching on a weekly basis of the high level instructors is just not available to them. I think it's a struggle, it's a difficult situation, but on a global um, arena, there are multiple referees from small countries that are able to do it. So I do believe that there's a plenty of talent in every country, including Bermuda, and your pool of referees is there. It's maybe smaller or more shallow than it used to be, but if we can get people excited about officiating and show them there is a way, and there is a support, I think that pool would grow, and therefore the talent will grow as well.
Let's talk a little bit about the ages of when people can become FIFA or and CONCACAF officials. We know that you have to be a certain age and so forth. But nowadays we have some young people that are more mature. You know, could FIFA or even CONCACAF be looking at people at a younger age getting involved?
Absolutely. Absolutely. FIFA does have a certain requirements that you cannot be an international referee, so FIFA referee, unless you're at least 25 years old.
Hmm.
I think it's a good age because you still have to gain certain amount of experience before you can be selected or considered to be an international FIFA referee. However, in terms of being involved with CONCACAF, there is no age requirement. So if you are young and up and coming official in a country, any country, you can be 19, 17, 18, 20 years old. If you get on a FIFA radar, I'm sorry, if you get on a CONCACAF radar, even though you're not a FIFA referee yet, you could gain certain experience doing some CONCACAF events. They might be a lower level, they might be U15, U17 qualifiers. However, these are already professional environments, so you learn a lot by going to those events. And once you are on the CONCACAF radar, they will decide if you have a potential to be a FIFA referee. So the age is not going to stop you if you're young but talented. If you're good enough, if you're young enough, you're good enough. Basically, that's what it comes down to.
Yes, yes, yeah. Because I think, as you probably could tell this morning, we have a lot of young people who are involved in officiating. But if you tell them they've got to wait almost 10 years before they can even be acknowledged to get to, um, you know, on a list internationally, some may think that that's a long way away.
Of course.
Others may look at it and say, okay, that's 10 years of experience or 12 years of experience. And, it's just other ways that we can keep youngsters involved and engaged in the officiating side, because most of our young people are also players.
Absolutely, and that's fair. But there is nothing, there is no trade, there is no work, there is no job in this world that you would pick up at the age of 14 and expect to be master at it at the age of 19, right?
Right. That's
It
true.
just doesn't happen overnight. And the international level is a level where having a FIFA badge basically means that at any given moment, should there be an emergency, you should be able to handle any game in the world because you
Mm,
are international referee. If you're a national referee in your country, the indication should be that if needed, you could step up and do any game in your country. That's the criteria. So
mhm.
at the age of, if you're a teenager, however talented you are, it's still, there's still time for you to gain more knowledge.
Yes.
There is a theory of 10,000 hours, right? So
Yeah.
if you don't continue uh, making yourself better, if you don't continue fighting, whether it's fitness, whether it's game understanding or football understanding, or whether it's repetition, which builds muscle memory in you as an official, you need to build that, and it takes time. No one becomes an international referee overnight. No one
Yes.
becomes in 2 3 years. It takes time. Some get there faster than others. Um, but in general, unless you put in your effort, your work, your hours, unless you do certain amount of games where you feel comfortable that you can handle any game, uh, the focus should be on a progress of your skill set and progress of your experience rather than an end result. So we should focus on a road, not the end of the road.
Right.
So that way we can keep officials motivated and we can keep them excited because there is multiple opportunities to really make this into a beautiful lifestyle, beautiful career. Uh, at the end, once you're at that level, you can experience visiting multiple countries, multiple events, and meeting fantastic people on the way.
Yeah. So let's come back to your. What are you hoping to accomplish on this trip to Bermuda?
I'm hoping to get people excited about officiating. I'm hoping to assure them that the decision that they have made, whether they are 8, 11, or 15 or 25, that the decision that they have made to give it a shot, to try it, was a good one. We need officials. Bottom line is that we are short of referees all over the world. um, Giving them tools to deal with the situations where they get pushback from the players or the coaches, giving them ideas how to deal with it, telling them that it is okay sometimes for other people to disagree with your decision, but you were there and you were confident in your decision. Uh, that's my goal. I want people to understand that it doesn't matter where you're coming from. You have an opportunity, and there are people out there. I came here. Thanks to CONCACAF. So there are organizations out there who are willing to invest into the program, whether it's here or anywhere else. So I am here to promote refereeing. I'm here to make each referee that I meet and talk to better and tell them that they are not on their own. There's Bermuda Football Association that is backing them. There is a CONCACAF that's backing them. There are people like me who are very passionate about officiating. Um there is help out there, and I want to promote that, and I want to be that outlet for them to ask questions and to give them certain solutions and to tell them that they are doing good job.
Mm. What's some of the most frequent questions you get asked, um, especially by the youngsters?
The first and most important one, referees who already are on a pitch and they officiate, is how do I deal with the abuse?
Mm.
This is the one the young people just imagine. Imagine you have a daughter or you have a son. You've been to football matches, right? And I'm not I'm gonna talk about United States here. Because I talk to the coaches a lot. The coaches who argue, the coaches who yell, the coaches who scream and dissent and abuse young referees. Sometimes I pull them aside after the game and I talk to them and I ask them, "Do you have a child? Do you have a son? Do you have a daughter?" "Yes, I do. I have a 14-year-old daughter." I told them, uh, if that daughter one day came to you and said, "Hey, Dad, I would like to be a referee," um, would you, as a father in a good conscience, ever send your child to the environment where he or she is going to be screamed at, yelled at, abused, possibly assaulted, because there is interactions where sometimes there's a physical contact with the youngsters? Would you, as a good faith father, send your child to that environment? And the answer is always no. So I said, then why do you create that environment to this child who just refereed your game? So it needs to be a global awareness of the consequences of that moment of madness by the coaches or by the players or by the parents that can be a lethal to a young referee who's going to finish the game, who's going to go home, throw the bag into the corner, and say, "I'm never going to referee a game. I'm just gonna play my PlayStation with my friends." So we are dealing with a lot of abuse, and this is number one reason why we're losing young referees. They just don't want to be abused, and who blames them?
Mm. Mm. Well, we have another 2 years before the FIFA World Cup is actually in our region. Officiating wise, what would be a dream amount of CONCACAF officials officiating in the World Cup coming up?
Well, the Confederation of CONCACAF is 41 countries, and each country is as important as the other. It doesn't matter if it's smaller or bigger. So, the focus for CONCACAF is to grow referees all over the place and find talent and develop them and help them, give them support whenever they can. So, I think the representation of CONCACAF is obviously very, very important here. Even though I'm from the United States, to me personally, it doesn't matter who's going to get selected. What matters is that people who do get selected are going to be in a top shape and top form, so they can represent CONCACAF. Every country represents CONCACAF for me. So whether it's a referee from Antigua or Bermuda or Trinidad and Tobago or United States or Mexico, I'm going to be happy because I know that these people are going to be representing CONCACAF and their trade. And I have to say that I've been to Europe, I've been to Asia, I've been to CONCACAF events. I have to say that in terms of instruction, in terms of coaching, uh, I think CONCACAF is way up there. It might be the best organization in terms of creating or finding talent and developing them. It's a matter of getting on the radar so they know that, hey, these are referees who are up and coming and they've been through a lot of games and they've gained experience. We can now polish them into being a great FIFA and CONCACAF officials.
Well, I want to thank you for your time this evening and wishing you all the best for the rest of the time in Bermuda and helping to groom our officials into better officials and giving them as much information as they need to move in the right direction. So I want to thank you very much for taking the time out to come to Bermuda. And thank you very much for joining me this evening.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity. I'm here to help, and I'm always going to come. And if anyone asks, I'm here to. If anyone has any questions or whatever, if you see me, please come over. I'm really happy to help out.
Okay. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Okay.